Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's wait a moment before we get started. I hope we're all doing well today. As you know, my name is Cassandra, and today I'll be talking to you about a more serious topic, and that is wealth inequality. That's a problem all over the world, and I often hear people in Korea talking about it. They like to use expressions like gold, silver, bronze, wooden, I'm forgetting another, plastic, and dirt, spoons, to describe somebody's social status based on how much money they make. So I wanted to talk to you about that today. Excuse me. Oh, good. We have some students here. Excellent. Jaebang, good morning. I'm so glad to see you here. If anyone else is here, please write a message, say hi before we get started. Usually we broadcast in the afternoons, but we have other department live streams happening. So today we have a really jam-packed schedule. We're starting early. It's great to see everyone here today. Hi. Looks like it's just a few of us so far, but don't worry. How are you doing today? Oh, good. We have a few more people coming in, I see. Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. Okay. So far, so good. I love that expression. Me too. Excellent. So, as I was saying, in Korea, we often have this spoon ranking system. Kibyung, hi. Welcome back. Very good. So, but in the West, we don't have all of the spoons. We don't say someone is gold, bronze, wooden, plastic, or dirt spoon. We just simply refer to having a silver spoon. And I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Let's greet a few more students. Anne Sehyuk, hello there. Welcome. And Apple, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Okay, so I will show you this expression. I hope you can see it. We say, if somebody is very rich or wealthy, they are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or he was born or she was born with a silver spoon in her or his mouth. So we just have that one spoon to represent all of the wealthy, rich people. So just silver spoon. Why, you may ask? Honestly, I don't have the best answer. My guess is that in the past, when this expression originated, wealthy people, the rich families, let's think of the dukes, the duchesses, the kings, queens, princesses, these very rich people ate with silver spoons. They didn't use gold, even though gold is higher than silver, just because of practicality. Gold is reserved for other things, jewelry, crowns. So if you were rich, the most expensive item you could use would be the silver spoon, not the gold one. So we have that expression. And when I came to Korea, I was like so amazed by the different spoon ranking systems, but we'll talk more about that later. Apple, thank you so much. Okay, so I hope that in today's lesson, you can learn some new useful expressions to talk about money, whether you're completely loaded, that means very rich, or completely broke, that means lacking money. So hopefully you'll find the right expression for you. We'll also talk about phrasal verbs that we can use when discussing money. And as usual, we'll end with a quiz. So let's get started, everyone. As to remind you, our topic is wealth inequality, and I need your help. Let's break down that term. My first question for you, so please get ready to type, what is wealth? I'll repeat it. What is wealth? I'll put the question in our chat room here. Who can give a great definition? What is wealth when we talk about wealth? He or she is so wealthy. They have a lot of wealth. Helen, I love money, smiley face. Yes, me too. An Se-hyuk says Korea also uses that expression about the spoons, right? Excellent. Good stuff. Okay, everyone. So what is wealth? How can we give a good explanation or definition of wealth? Richness, says Helen. Thank you. Yes, being very rich. Rich means having a lot of money. You could even interpret it as having a lot of resources, possessions, assets. Assets are things that are really expensive to buy, and they can be sold later. Maybe they can also earn you some money. So assets could be your house, perhaps an investment, car, boat, these large purchases. Right, wealth. Good job. Apple says an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Yes, excellent. Eddie Jack says money talks. It certainly does. Great. I really like this topic, everybody. So, wealth, it's just like being rich. There could be a small difference between wealthy and rich. The small subtlety, so that very tiny difference, is that wealth is sustainable. Sustainable means it can last a long time. Richness or riches, being rich, maybe we could think of it as a little bit short term. So somebody becomes rich from winning the lottery. Suddenly they have a lot of money. And wealth, we think of it more as money that's very long term, maybe a family who has a lot of money and they pass that money down to their children, their children's children, all through the generations. So that's the tiny difference between rich and wealthy, but most native speakers use those words interchangeably. Oh, he's so rich. Oh, she's so wealthy. About the same meaning. So don't worry too much, but if you were interested, that's the small, subtle difference, everyone. We have more students coming in with answers. Wealthy is being able, having the ability to buy anything we want. Excellent. Aha. Okay. So I see that some of you like that explanation. Awesome. Okay, everyone. So wealth, inequality. What does inequality mean? We don't say unequality. We say inequality in English. I'll type the question here. What does the word inequality mean? So English is always a little bit tricky. We can say that something is unequal. But if we're dealing with more social situations, we like to use the term inequality, right? So in math, we could say this and this are unequal. But if we're talking about finances, the economics of some situation, inequality. Good job. Yes, Anne Sehak. Excellent. Of course, inequality means different. So some different balance. So when we put them together, wealth inequality, we're talking about the differences, how things are not exactly balanced between the rich and the poor, right? We talk about the distribution of income. Distribution means how the income, the money that people earn from working is distributed, is shared, is spread out. So wealth inequality deals with maybe a difference in income distribution and the distribution of wealth. We can also talk about the inequality between people, the wealth inequality between people in a society, or even between countries. So this is a pretty big topic, but I just want to give you a few expressions today that you can use when you're talking about money in your daily life in English. Apple says, difference in size, degree, circumstance is a lack of equality. Thank you. Yes, Konaim, I hope I said that well. Unfairness, excellent word. Well spoken or well typed, I should say. Helen Jung, having a gap between two things. Excellent. I like that word, a gap. Lovely. Oh, and there's a comment on my hair. Thank you. When you have long hair, it sometimes gets in your face, right? It distracts you. So now it's back. Okay, everyone. So what is your attitude toward money? Are you absolutely broke? Do you scrimp and save to live within your means? Or do you have a lot of disposable income? Are you completely loaded like a billionaire? And do you like to splurge on expensive things? These are some of the words we're going to talk about next. So let's zoom over here. I hope you can see. Very good. All right, we have 3 expressions here. Everyone, give me a thumbs up if you can see or just an okay, because I'm not quite sure if it's legible to you. Let's see if we can go back a bit more. How about now? Can we see? Can we see items 1, 2, and 3? Apple says okay. Anyone else? Okay, yes. Kimino, thank you. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Yes, lovely, everyone. Thank you. Oh, someone sent an emoji that is so cute. Jibang. All right. So, our first one today. To be broke. Broke simply means to lack money. And we could use this in a sentence like, I am completely broke. I was so broke last year. The family is completely broke, like this. So why don't we try to use to be broke in a sentence, everyone? So broke, again, you could think of the idea of something is broken, like your money situation. Your wallet is broken. But we wouldn't say, I am broken in English. That could have a different meaning. We say, I'm so broke. I have no money. So let's try. Oh, good, Eddie Jack. Yeah, it's just like being bankrupt. Bankrupt is when you are completely out of money. And I believe well, I'm not sure about that process in Korea, but I think in Western countries, you need to maybe alert the authorities on that situation, maybe tell the bank that you deal with, and they will try to start your life again at maybe zero money, something like that. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of experience in that domain, but yes, bankrupt means out of money, just like being broke, right? I think bankrupt could be a little more serious since it's a financial term and it's related to, completely having nothing. To be broke, we don't have the exact details. We don't know if you have gone to the bank to declare bankruptcy yet. So that could be the stage before being bankrupt. To break the bank. Yes, that's an awesome expression. Yes, so that one's a little bit different. When you say something broke the bank, it means that something was so expensive and maybe it caused you a financial burden. So if I said, my new car really broke, the bank. My new car really broke the bank. That means maybe I couldn't afford. That means maybe I didn't have the ability to pay for that thing. So it almost made me completely poor. Or paying for my son's university tuition, like their school fee, their university tuition, really broke the bank. That means it was too expensive for me. Apple, I think we're going to be broke. Yes, that's used very well. Penniless. Yes, I like that expression. It's a sad expression, but it is correct, right? Being broke is being penniless. On that note, I'll move on to number 2. Let's look at number 2. To scrimp and save. Now, that's kind of an older expression, but people still say it. I think we all know save. That one is easy, right? You're saving your money. You're saving your resources. Scrimp, I can't think of an instance when a native speaker would say scrimped today. So it's a really outdated word. Scrimp means to scrimp, to, for example, count your pennies, to be extremely wise, and we get this word here, frugal. Frugal means that you are very, very conscious. You're paying a lot of attention to your money, right? So when we combine those together, scrimp and save, we say to scrimp and save. That represents something or some process of saving your money and only spending a little bit when it's absolutely necessary. So we could say, I scrimped and saved to buy my house. That means I saved up all my money. I was very frugal. I was very resourceful. So that's to scrimp and save. Why don't we try? Sorry, I just saw a joke come in. Scrimp sounds a lot like shrimp, the food, like sayu. So a student wrote, I feel like to have some shrimp. I want to eat shrimp. That's what happens when we have a lesson so close to lunchtime, right? Great joke. Scrimp, to scrimp and save, everyone. So could you please use it in a sentence? I would love to hear what you have to say. Helen says, I have money as much as I need when I am really grateful. Okay, I think that, yeah, that's a great attitude toward money. We're going to be talking about that later. Anyone else with scrimp and save in a sentence? Apple. We had to scrimp and save the first few years when we were married. Excellent. Yes, that sounds like a common situation for newlyweds, young married couples. Great. Yes, that's perfect. We could say, my grandfather scrimped and saved to buy our family house. Or I was scrimping and saving so much last year in order to afford the car that I bought, something like that. So you can notice that we obviously can modify the sentence to fit the tense we're working in. Anyone else? To scrimp and save? I have no money, so I have to scrimp. Yes. And say, yes, you can say that. You don't need to say scrimp and save. You can also just say scrimp. That's fine too. I understand your sentence. Right. Good job. That's grammatically correct. So that student brought up a good point. You can cut off the save part, but a lot of native speakers just use those things together. So like if you're scrimping, you're kind of trying to gather money and not spending it. By nature, you're also saving. So those two are a bit related. Konya says, I hope I don't have to scrimp and save when I'm much older. That's right. Yes. Planning for your retirement and etc. Your older years are so important, and nobody wants to be scrimping and saving when they are in their golden years. Their golden years are their older years, right? So after your retirement, once you've stopped working. Good job. Okay, moving on. Third, it is to live within one's means. Maybe you've heard that before. That just simply means that you are buying what you can afford. So you're not wasting your money. You're living within your means. You can think of your means as how much money you earn. And if you're living within your means here, you're only spending money that you have. If you're living outside of your means, so over the money you make, that means maybe you are using credit cards too often, or maybe you are taking a loan or going into debt. Something that you can't afford to buy would be living outside of your means. When you can afford it, you are living within your means. When you live within your means, you're able to save money. So why don't we try to use that one to live within your means in a sentence? And that could be a bit tricky. So if you have a question, please let me know, everyone. Let's try out this expression. So you can say that the family lives within their means. That means the family is doing fine financially. They're not wasting their money. They're not wasting money that they don't actually have. Or you could talk about somebody living outside of their means. Outside of their means, as I said before, is when you're spending money that you don't have. I like to live within my means. Or my brother is so good with money, he always lives within his means. Let's see some sentences. Yes, Helen, your previous sentence is correct. Apple says, live within your purse if you don't want to be blank or broke. Yes. So live within your purse is good too. Perhaps other native speakers in other countries say that one, but in the Canadian and American context, we try to say to live within your means. But live within your purse is still okay. Good sentence. And I hope everyone knows what a purse is. I don't have a purse that I can grab right now to show you, but it's like a kind of kabang, like ladies' purse. You could imagine this. This is more of a wallet, a smartphone wallet, but the bigger version, the bag version would be a purse. Good job. Anyone else? It's a bit hard. I'll wait for you. Anyone else with a sentence? Oh, good, Helen. You'd better stop using your credit card. Live within your means. Excellent advice. Yes, well done. Okay, we'll move on. We have 3 more. Okay, number 4. we're going to talk next about disposable income. Now, you can think of disposable income as money that you can spend, money that is available to you after you pay your taxes. So, your monthly salary minus the deductions. So the money that you need to give to the government. So you can think of disposable income as whatever arrives in your bank account every month or however often you get paid. And you use that money as you wish. Maybe you spend it, maybe you save it. Of course, you must spend some of it on essentials, on things that you need to survive, right? So some of your money goes to that, some of your disposable income should go to that, and the rest, it's up to you. It's disposable income. We can think of the word disposable as something that we can give out, we can dispose, right? So it's not necessarily like hidden money or secret money, it's disposable income. It's money that's just available to you and you can use it however you want. So let's try to use that in a sentence, everybody. Disposable income. How do you spend your disposable income, for instance? Or you could say, that man has a lot of disposable income. Or that woman has a lot of disposable income, but she doesn't save any of it. Or what else can we say about disposable income? I need a job that provides me with more disposable income. Something like that, everyone. Oh, we have more things in our chat. Let's see. Very good. Okay, if you are broke, you need to live within your means. Hey, this student, I'm not so good at reading Korean at the moment. Can I say Lina? Sorry that I'm suddenly giving you an English name, but you used two expressions in one sentence. I'm super proud of you. That's great. Kona, Lim says, my friend refused to inherit her father's money and told him she'll live within her means. Wow, that's a great sample sentence. And if that's a true story, wow, I respect that friend. That that must not have been an easy decision. Anne says, let's think about how to save disposable income. Perfect sentence. Well done. Apple, a weekly disposable income of $200. Very good. Yes. And Sehyuk says to save our money. Yes. So we have our disposable income and it's good to save that money as well. Awesome job, everyone. Okay. Number 5, I've used this already. To be loaded. This is a really common colloquial. So that just means an expression that is not formal. So this is just everyday talking between native speakers. To be very rich. If somebody is loaded, they are very rich. Maybe you've heard that term before in a Hollywood movie. He's absolutely loaded. The millionaire is completely loaded. The princess is completely loaded. The celebrity is completely loaded. We like to use words like completely or absolutely or totally to qualify it and make it sound, excuse me, even bigger. You could say that my mom is loaded. That means my mom has a lot of money. Something like that. Let's try to use that in a sentence. That's a pretty fun word. Let's see, everyone. Oh, good. I have some other messages coming in. Yes, Kibyung, Konya, and Suji. 3 of you wrote perfect sentences. Well done. Grace Gold says the super rich. Oh, good expression. That's right, the super rich. They are completely loaded. Is loaded related to bullets? Oh, that's such a smart question. Maybe yes and no, but I consider loaded more of the broader sense. So I'll explain. You load a gun with bullets. So loading means like packing something into something or like filling something. When we look at the broader sense of loaded, you could have a purse. I'm going to load my purse. I'm going to stuff my purse full of things. I have a backpack. My backpack is loaded with books. So loaded means like so full, like totally packed tight, like kind of a bullet in a chamber, right? So there's that pressure, it could explode. So that's kind of what loaded means. Even when we're ordering food at a restaurant, we could say, I want my sandwich loaded with cheese. That means so much. Put a lot there. In that sense, loaded means like the person is, we just imagine the person being like stuffed with money. The person is going to explode money. Yeah, being totally full of something, like a bullet. So there you go. Excellent question. That was awesome. Excuse me. Not corona, by the way. I just I have seasonal allergies, so please don't worry about me. Lena, I want to know what it is like to be loaded. Me too. I follow a lot of loaded people on Instagram, so very rich celebrities, and I'm always amazed at their lifestyles. I want to have a loaded friend to pay for my meal every time. Something that's so good. It is nice to have loaded friends. um, Suji, I want to be loaded to help poor people. That is so sweet. Yes. Oh, that's excellent. I like that sentence. Helen says, to be loaded, we've learned the expression from one of the lectures already. Oh, okay then. Perfect. Then we'll move on. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kang. You could say I'm loaded. I'm loaded with hospital bills. So that means there are a lot in your life. I'm so sorry. Cheer up, please. Good luck with that. Okay, we shall move on. And finally, this relates a little bit to being loaded. Number 6, to splurge. Splurge is a fun word as well. It means to spend your money freely, extravagantly, without even thinking about it. So loaded people, rich people, wealthy people, they often like to splurge. So splurge is when you just spend so much money at once. However, you don't necessarily, that means you don't have to be rich to splurge. Everybody can splurge. Middle class people, people who are in the lower socioeconomic rankings, like this. So if we look at it in Korean terms, like any spoon, like silver spoons, dirt spoons, plastic spoons, everybody can splurge. Splurge just means, right, to spend maybe a little bit too much money. Yes, as Grace said, to spend too much money is to splurge. So people say it's okay to splurge every now and again, every once in a while, just sometimes, like a shopping spree. Kona, very good, exactly. Apple, I love your sentence. At the duty free shop, ready to splurge. I will admit I splurge at the duty free shop every time. It's just, oh, how can I say? Yes, it's just something that people tend to do, right? So, why don't we try to use splurge in a sentence? We could say that I splurged on a new jacket. I totally splurged on my vacation. I'm ready to splurge. It's time to go to the duty-free shop, as Apple said. I love that sentence. Anybody else? Let's try to use splurge in a sentence. Oh, but Kona says most duty-free shops are going down on business. Oh, that's so true right now. I'm really hoping that the situation, the economic situation improves. Grace, oh, Grace, yes, hi. I remember you. Excellent. I know who you are. It's so good to see you again. Very good. Anyone else? Splurge? Have you ever splurged on something? Do you like to splurge or do you never splurge? I never splurge on things that I can't afford. Yes, nice to see you too, Grace. Song Lim says, when I went to a department store in Gangnam, oh, the very rich, wealthy area, I saw one guy splurge there. Very good. That is something that we would definitely see in Gangnam. Very good. He spent money to splurge on a sports car. Kim Suji, perfect. Yes, you splurge on something. Yes, splurged on a sports car. Oh, not enough money. Yeah, well, some people still splurge even if they don't have a lot of money, right? Like that's when people use their credit cards and they live outside of their means, like we talked about before. Oh, we have a question from Hyunjin. Is it possible to use the expression to make ends meet instead of number 3. So I'll bring back number 3. And yes, to make ends meet is the same as living within one's means. That expression, I didn't teach it just because there are so many expressions related to money. We could take all day, but that's on another very very commonly used expression. To make ends meet. Make ends meet just means to get by, to survive. Sometimes I splurge at Daiso. Kona, me too. It's easy to splurge when there are so many items that do not cost a lot of money. I splurged on frozen goods. Yes, you can definitely splurge on food. I tend to splurge on food, on restaurants, or expensive drinks in a cafe like this. Right. Very good, everyone. Okay, so why don't we take a little bit of a break from these expressions, and we can just do a little bit of a discussion. So my first question is, just in general, everybody, what do you spend your money on? Or we could rephrase it as, what do you like to do with your disposable income? So I'll type it here. And if you do have any questions, please let me know. So how do you generally spend your money? How do you use your disposable income? I'd like to know your spending habits. Let's find out. Helen says, I got a feeling to splurge once a year. Good, that's very sensible. Excellent. Splurging is very fun. We'll talk more about that one next, actually. But our first question, I'm just curious. So not splurging, but just your regular lifestyle. What do you tend to spend money on? What do you like to do with your disposable income? Let's see. Buying some clothes. Yes. Necessary and fun. Anyone else? Helen said buying clothes. What else can we do with it? We can save our money. We can invest it. We can buy stocks on the stock market. We can buy coffee. We can spend it on school fees, tuition. We talked about that before. Let's see what else everyone has to say. I like to spend lots of money for the trip and taking lectures. Okay, very nice lifestyle. So you're studying and you're traveling. Lovely. We can also say, instead of the trip, we'll cut out the, we'll just say, I like spending lots of money on trips and taking lectures. Kona says, I used to splurge on CDs. Oh, I sound so old. Don't worry. I also have a CD collection. I used to splurge on classical music CDs when I was a young child, when I was in Canada. That was something that I was always buying. And I still have a huge collection of them in Canada. And they're kind of a little bit useless just because I download most of my music now. So yes, I kind of regret buying all those CDs, but that's okay. So you're not old, by the way. Buying CDs, not that outdated. Or maybe I'm also old. I'm not sure. Let's not think about it. Apple says he buys experiences rather than material goods. Oh, lovely. Yes, that's a good financial philosophy. A lot of people would rather invest their money in the experience and making a memory instead of buying some item. Very good. I want to buy a new car, says Grace. Me too, me too. Although one of the good things about living in Korea is the awesome public transportation here. However, in my country, in Canada, you cannot survive without a vehicle. So you need a car. Everything is so far away. And the subways, the buses, the trains, they exist, but they're not that convenient and practical. So in Korea, it's possible to live without a car. In some cities, at least, like Seoul, the bigger cities. But in Canada, when you're a teenager, you need a car, starting from a young age. Yes, paying for insurances. Lina, yes, very good. And I like that word, insurances. We can talk a bit more about that one later. I want to save some pennies to visit my mom in Korea, says Grace Gold. I hope you can do that. Yes, Canada is huge indeed, right. Advantages and disadvantages to having a huge country. Um, yes, the good transportation system in Korea. We spend money on transportation as well. I spend money for my trips, using the gym, hanging out with my friends. Awesome, Suji. Very good. And I liked how you use the word gym, not health club. So I know a lot of Koreans like to say health club to mean like the gym or like health the jang. But when you're using English, it's so natural to say gym. I go to the gym. I work out at the gym. Awesome. Okay, next question. This one's kind of fun. What would you splurge on if you won the lottery? So let's imagine our dream. We won millions of dollars or billions of won in a lottery, and we have all of this money. So what would we buy? What would we splurge on? What would we buy just so freely and carelessly? What would you ideally buy if you had a lot of money? Let's find out, everyone. So let's talk about big things now. Apple, I want to travel the world. Good job. Anybody else? I'm just going to type something as well because I want to mention this before I forget. In Korea, I've often heard a word called so hwakheng. I hope I'm saying that right. I'll just type it in the chat. And that means things that give you a small but certain happiness. I heard that expression used a lot in Korea, and I think that's so cool. So I think a lot of us use our disposable income on things like that. Like buying a coffee here and there, buying some cute thing that you like, taking a weekend trip. But I'm not talking about the little things that give you happiness. I'm talking in the question, what would you splurge on? Tell me the big things. Yes, like buying a house. Good job. Yes, so big ones. Songlim, I would invest. Very smart. Uh, Half of that money, and I would travel with the other half of that money. Good job. Yes, that seems like a viable plan. I hope you win the lottery. Anyone else? So we have like investing, buying a house, traveling the world. I want to live forever in New Zealand. Sure, why not? Maybe someone would want to open a restaurant, a chain of restaurants abroad. Oh, I see. Save. Okay, I see Songlim. Very good. I still understand you. Very good. What would you splurge on? Like brand name clothes, exotic animals. You would buy a tiger. I'm not sure if that's even possible. Cars, luxury watches, jewelry. What else? Oh, I would like to splurge on people who are in need. Yes, you would donate to them. That's very kind. I want to invest in research on finding some cure for incurable illnesses like mine, says Gang. Oh, that's so lovely. Right. I wish that more money would be spent globally on medicine, coming up with cures for what ails us. Right, right. And even corona. Very good. Laguna Beach. Yes, living a beach dream luxury lifestyle. I want to buy a big house at Laguna Beach. Very cool. I would splurge on a car. I wonder what type of car would you like? There's so many lovely sports cars and luxury cars. Sharing money with family. Oh, of course. That's a given. That's a given. That means, of course, like definitely everybody, I think, would do that. Yes, sharing money with family, obviously. Very good. That's a given. Then, says Ina, uh, I would spend it for buying a private beach if possible. Oh, I think a lot of us are talking about beaches today. I think we're all a little bit there's an expression, we're kind of itching to travel, or we have the travel bug. It's like a travel virus. I think because of the corona virus, we're not able to travel, and because of that, we're all eager to travel. We all want to escape and go to some like dream beach or tropical paradise. Like I'm really itching to travel right now. I have the travel bug. I can't stay still. I wish I could travel, but I cannot. I want to retire early and travel the The world says grace. Very good. Yes, early retirement. Oh, I'm really not the best at Korean, but I have a student here. I think they're talking about like buying a lot of meat, some fancy restaurant. I would splurge on, okay, yes, more items. Maybe spring clothes, we're trying to say. Oh, the message was gone. We'll talk about that one later. Good job. Okay, so obviously money, it's fun to talk about. It's very interesting. There are tons of phrasal verbs that we can use when discussing money. So I'd like to go back to the board and teach you 6 phrasal verbs. So please, everyone, follow along. Try to use them in a sentence as we go. So here we are. Just a moment. I hope we can see this. Okay, everyone. I really hope we can see. So the first phrasal verb we have, dip into. We often use this to mean when you say, when you spend your saved money. So we often say, I had to dip into my savings. In this case, to buy a new car. By the way, everyone, just give me an okay if you can see properly. So I had to dip into my savings. Dip into means to literally like dip into, to go into and take it out. So it's a situation when you need to access a reserve of saved or pooled money. Okay, we got an okay. Very good, everyone. So let's try this in a sentence. Have you ever had to dip into your savings to buy something? Did you ever have to dip into your retirement plan to pay for something else? Obviously, that's a personal question. So I'm not asking you to really share your financial situation with us, but just make a sample sentence, right? So you could say, oh, I had to dip into my husband's account to pay for my new necklace. That's a terrible idea, right? But it's just a sample sentence. Let's try it out. Apple says, we had to dip into our savings to pay for the repairs. Perfect. Very natural. Good job. I had to dip into my whole savings for my study abroad. I am totally broke. Very good sentence. You used a lot of words so naturally. Perfect. Songlim. Anybody else? Dip into. We often use it with savings. So dip into your savings. We can say that the parents had to dip into their savings to pay for their child's wedding. Anyone else? I think we're fine. Okay, we'll move on. Oh, we have one more coming up, Lina. I had to dip into my savings when I decided to study abroad for paying the expensive tuition fee. Very good. Okay, yes. So I think that's a common idea, right? Of living off your savings, dipping into your savings when you are living in a foreign country, when you're studying abroad. Yes, I had to dip into my purse to buy a brand new dictionary. Sure, you can say that I had to dip into my purse as well. Very good. Nicely done, Unju. Excellent. Jaebang, I had to dip into my savings for tuition. Well, that is a good investment, right? I want to dip into our savings to get the house remodeled. So upgraded. Very good. I dip into my future. You could say that, but we dip into something that we already have. So your future, it's your future. It's undecided. We don't have it yet. We don't know what's going to happen. So you could say I dipped into my past, but that's not referring to money. Like it could refer to ideas. Like I had to dip into my past to come up with the idea for the book that I wrote. So dip into is something that's already existing. Or you plan to dip into your future savings. It's something you will do. That could work. So I think that's what you were saying, actually. Good job. So I plan to dip into my future savings. So I plan to take out the money that I will save. I dip into my mother's money. Okay, sure. Very good. Great sentence. Yes. Okay. I giggled just because it brought back memories of me being a child and like asking my parents for money. And I never took any money from them, but I wondered, what if I, snuck into my mom's purse? I never did it, but it was just a childish thought that I had. So that's why I laughed. It kind of reminded me a little bit of being young. Um, Okay, we have a few more. I need to dip into my savings to buy a new expensive car. Perfect. I think everyone understands this really well. I had to dip into my piggy bank to pay for my tuition. Good job. And you use the expression piggy bank. I'm really curious. What's piggy bank in Korean? In English, piggy bank is, this, it's literally just like this container, often like porcelain or a nice material. And we just deposit our coins in there and our bills. We save money in our piggy bank, and it looks like a pig. It's just an old tradition in the West, and I'm really curious. In Korea, do we have a piggy bank in Korea? And what is it called? And what does it look like? Is it an animal? Oh, it's literally also called piggy, like deji. Oh, oh, that's so cool. I'm glad I learned that today. Thank you, everyone. Okay, number two. We'll move on. Oh, okay, number two. Set or put aside. That just means to save. We often say we set aside or we put aside our money. He set aside money for his wedding. That means he just saved some money for his wedding. I like to set aside a certain amount of money every month for my investments. Or, yes, the mother set aside a lot of money for her child's tuition. Let's try to use that in a sentence and let's see what we have going on in the chat. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yes. Piggy bank. And Suji, I want to dip into my savings to prepare my junior. Okay, I'm curious. Do you mean like a junior person, like someone younger than you? Um, so the whole sentence is perfect. I'm just curious about the word junior. So let me know. Um, Did you put aside some money for this summer vacation? Says Apple. Perfect. Very good. I learned to set aside some money and spend some, says Unju. Lovely sentence. Very good. I set aside $100 every month for my holiday fund. Oh, how fun. Very good. We have to set aside for the future. Oh, good, everyone. I chopped an onion and set aside some to use in another dish. Good job, Kona. So as you can see, this expression is not only about money, right? It's about saving in the general sense. So I set aside some of the pizza for later. I ate half of the pizza and I put aside or I set aside the other half. I put it in the refrigerator. I set it aside in the refrigerator and then I'll eat it the next day. Good job. People in other countries are setting aside food in order to be prepared for being quarantined. Lena, awesome sentence. Very good. Helen says, I set aside my income for my travel in the US. Very cool. Very good. Yeah, I set aside money for my future kids. You are a great parent if you are. And if not, that's just a great simple sample sentence. Very good. Okay, number three, run up. That's when we accumulate something large. We often talk about it with bills. So somebody could run up a large bill. She ran up a 15 million won bill. So that's like $15,000 at the luxury hotel. So run up a bill just means to keep adding, to keep contributing to a bill, to something that you must pay. So you could say that somebody ran up a lot of debt on their credit card, or I ran up a huge bill at the duty-free shop, for example. Or my husband has a habit of running up his credit card. So we don't need to say always, running up the debt. We can guess the meaning. So this one is a little bit context based, but we could also say, yeah, my husband, he often enjoys running up the debt on our credit cards. Just an example. Anybody else? to run up something. So in this case, to run up a bill, to run up a debt. Let's try that one. Past tense, I ran up a huge bill. I ran up a huge bill at the Chinese restaurant. I ordered so many delicious meals. Don't run up a big bill, says Apple. Very good. Grace, I run up a big bill in the casino. Very good. Oh my goodness, everyone. Time really flies. I still have 3 more to teach you, so I'll just do it really fast. Keep your comments coming in, by the way. Okay. I hope we could see. Number 4, to cut back on. That simply means to reduce. And it means when you're spending too much, sometimes you need to stop and cut back on what you're doing. So you need to cut back on your spending is a sample sentence. Number 5, to take out. So often when we're referring to loans, when we borrow money, we say we take it out. So for example, she took out a loan from the bank, or she took out a loan from her family. And number 6, to get by. A student mentioned this before about making ends meet. That's another common expression we use to represent just surviving, having enough money to just survive. So we could talk about just getting by financially. I only have enough money to pay for what I need and no extras. So for instance, after he lost his job, his family barely got by. It means they only had enough money to buy what they needed to survive. So these expressions here, we don't have too much time, so just take a look at them. And if you have a question, I would love for you to type your question in the chat room and I can help you understand it. Let's catch up on some messages now. Okay, we still have some students writing about run up. Song Lim, I need to run up to see the muscles. Okay, so that is more of a fitness term, so exercise term. You could just say, I need to run up a hill, or I need to run up a treadmill. I need to run, even if we remove the up. So that one is a little bit different, and I believe we'll be talking about exercise at another point. So we can address that a bit more. Suji, my friends run up a lot of money for his future. So in that case, run up has a negative meaning, so you're not saving. So instead, if your friends are saving for their future, you could say my friends are saving a lot of money for their future. Or if they're making a debt, if they're not saving, you could say that they're running up a lot of debt, which they will have to address or deal with in the future. Okay, we have more sentences from Apple. Yes, very good. Oh, musicals, Song Lim. Oh, I completely misunderstood. Okay, yes. So in that case, okay, your sentence is correct. Very good. Okay. Oh, we have Grace saying, Happy Easter, everyone. That is so sweet. Thank you. Happy Easter to those who celebrate it as well. Helen says, due to the coronavirus, a lot of people who run businesses have to cut back on their spending. Perfect. Very good. I need to cut back on buying desserts. Me too. Very guilty of that as well. Good job. Okay, so I think we're understanding these quite well. Anyone with a sentence for take out or get by? Let's try those. Anybody? Have a second, look it over. Ah, we have more students talking about Easter. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, actually, everyone, because we only have 5 minutes before Professor Kiva speaks in her lecture, why don't we just pause right now and I'll give you your quiz really quickly. So if you still want to practice these phrasal verbs, you can send, actually, why don't you just write it in the comments? Or you can send me a message as well. But it's easier if you just put your sample sentence or your question in the comments. I will look at it later. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Our quiz. I'm going to actually hide this now because I don't want to give you the answers. The first one is number 1. What is another way to say I got a loan? I got a loan. We just learned it. Maybe we didn't practice it very much, but it was just on the board over here. So who can be the first student? Took out. Very good, Grace. Lovely. You are correct. Okay, our next one. This is 2 words. What do you call money that you can spend or save after taxes? And I'll give you a hint. It is 2 words. What do you call money that you can spend or save after taxes? Oh, and I see so many answers coming in. Everyone listened so well. Excellent. So the next question, number 2, what do we call money? Yes, Lena, disposable money. Disposable money. Okay, I'll give it to you. Disposable money as well as disposable income. So we'll give it to the first 2 students then, Lena and Kona. So far, Grace, yes, Kona and Lena, well done. And our final question is, what word that starts with the letter L means very rich? This is a fun word. So I'll say it again. What word that starts with the letter L means very rich? Very rich, starting with the letter L, and we learned it at the start of this lesson. It's one of my favorite words. Loaded, Songlim! Excellent. Oh, everyone was so fast on that one. Cool. Very good, everyone. So actually, it is now time to finish and to take a very small pause. So next up, Professor Kiva will be discussing travel advice and expressions. It's going to be a great lecture. For the students who were correct, again, as I said, if and when I meet you, I will present you with this prize, which are just some little butter cookies because these are a small but certain happiness in my life, a small pleasure. So we talked about the hang. I hope I said it right. The little things in life that you enjoy. So I'd love to share some small cookies with you. So we'll be sorting out the prize details when the coronavirus ends and we can actually meet each other. So more details to follow. It's time that I finish and hand over this lecture to Kiva. So everyone, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much and enjoy the next lecture. Wow, I need to eat lunch. Okay, everyone, bye-bye. Take care.